What is up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WP Workshop. I came across something that seemed interesting on Twitter the other day. It's called minn admin and it's a new type of WordPress dashboard, actually an alternative WordPress dashboard. As it says here, it's meant to be modern, minimal, and basically provide you with all the details you actually want to see and interact with. So it's the first time I'm going to be installing this. I just figured that it's kind of interesting idea and I wanted to test it out and also show it to you at the same time. So this minn admin solution, it's been created by Austin Ginder. You can get it from the official repo, of course, as most things, and then also from the website. So let's just download the plugin. It works as a plugin, it seems. Okay, I do have the zip, so let's just go to my site, plugins, add plugin, upload plugin, yeah, minn admin. Let's install now, activate, of course. And okay, the plugin is activated, so I don't know, should I go to dashboard? No. Alright, minn admin. So we have a totally new section and yeah, it looks a lot different than the official admin, right? The dark theme is nice, but I'm gonna switch to light mode so that I can see more. And yeah, we have some recent activity. Okay, that is fine. I mean, it is a local website, so there's not much activity really going on, but I can still see a couple of interesting things here. So let's go into content, and those are all my pages and all my posts, it seems. So we have both on this list. I can filter, alright, so that is cool. I can filter, I can see just the posts, and I guess if I click on any of them, wow, so that's a whole different interface. I was just, expecting to be redirected to the official, block editor interface. And this is, by the way, a post created in the block editor, but I can still see it in this kind of simplified interface. I guess I can still use blocks here. It says that I can basically type this and yeah, okay, so img, let's go with image. Yeah, it does fire up the standard block selection interface. Okay, so it looks like I can basically use that instead of the native interface, block interface. This kind of design of the post editing interface, it's kind of a interesting middle ground between the traditional TinyMCE, I think, and the block interface. Because on one hand, you can still use blocks, right? They seem to be working fine. And at the same time, I can still use controls, the main controls for, messing with fonts, sizes, and stuff like that. I can still use them up top, which is traditionally how, you used to do things within the TinyMCE interface. So yeah, that is cool. I'm just wondering how compatible this is going to be with some external plugins, like external block editor plugins, for example, or even SEO stuff, which I don't have on this demo site, I think. But it's still a very interesting interface. So of course you can adjust the featured image. You can see the revision history. So what's going to happen if I click on that? Okay, you got me there. So you know what? I'm a big fan of the revision functionality in WordPress. I've been using it for years, multiple times a day, editing various content, various posts, pages, and this is an actual upgrade of the revisions interface. You know what? Let's make it harder. Let's just erase something. Yeah, let's update. Okay, post published, I guess. Why don't I see the newest revision? Yeah, just now. Okay, I needed to refresh it. So let's just click on the previous version and yeah, I can see the previous words being crossed out. So yeah, this is actually very nice because it also shows you the graphics in the revisions, and traditionally this wasn't something that WordPress was able to do. Okay, I can change the permalink, nice, excerpt tags, all nice. I even see the outline in here, which is also very nice. So overall, I kind of enjoy it, to be honest. Okay, so that is content. We also have media. Yeah, a new version of the media library, comments. I don't have those on my local site, and extensions, which means basically plugins, right? Because I do have a number of plugins on this site. They are just not active. But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's just activate this one and let's activate author blocks, which does add new elements, new blocks to the block editor. So I just want to see what happens with that. Let's go into content, go back to my content, and do I get to select new blocks from here? I don't, but I guess this could only happen if the author blocks plugin would integrate with this new dashboard. But if I go in extensions, I know that Code Snippets has its own section in the admin and I cannot see it here yet. So I'm guessing, again, this would require some additional integration between the two solutions. All right, let's just go into users. Pretty clear. This is me. Yeah, I get to edit everything clearly. Very nice. Post types. Yeah, it even works with that, which is nice. And system. Yeah, all the system details of this. So you know what? I enjoy it. And this is kind of turning WordPress in an interesting, different solution, you know, because underneath, of course, it's all WordPress, but on the face of it, you know, on one hand, it gives you lots more information about the platform itself easily. You know, you can, for example, as I can see here, enable debugging, logging, and so on in an easier way than you would normally. You can also control the cron, see what's up, and so on. And it brings back some of the more traditional way of working on content at the same time, which is very interesting, while at the same time letting you use blocks. So I'm guessing you can check it out if you are not entirely 100% convinced by the block editor interface, but you also think that the tiny MCE interface from back in the day is probably a bit outdated. So either way, I'm very interested in how this project evolves. Of course, I just touched it, you know, for a couple of minutes, and I'm sure that I didn't get to most of its most interesting features. So yeah, go ahead, check out the main website. Very interesting. And personally speaking, the WordPress admin interface is due heavily for a redesign when it comes to the main dashboard. So yeah, that is it. That was an interesting test. That was my live reaction, so to speak, because I haven't checked this tool before I started recording. So that is it. Do let me know what you think. And of course, let Austin know as well what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm Karol. You can find me at wpwork.shop and see you next time.